Have you ever been in that moment? You know exactly what you need to say, maybe asking for help around the house, or trying to tell a taxi driver where to go, or just ordering dinner, but the right English words, the natural sounding ones, they just vanish.
Oh, absolutely. Like your mind goes blank.
Exactly. It feels like you're walking a tightrope, linguistically speaking. So today, we're doing a deep dive into those everyday situations, those travel moments, not just handing out phrases, but aiming for that, confidence to actually connect.
That's a spot-on way to put it. This deep dive is really about exploring the practical communication tools that make life smoother, genuinely smoother.
And where are we getting these insights from today?
Our sources are some great excerpts from the Hush English podcast. They focus specifically on real-life English for, well, real-life situations.
Perfect.
And our mission, really, for you listening, is to pull out the key vocabulary, yes, but also those polite ways of saying things, the communication tips that can turn a potentially stressful moment into a confident one. We're looking beyond just the words, into why they work so well.
Okay, let's unpack this. Starting right at home, where you'd think it's easiest, but sometimes, the language challenge pops up. Picture this. Doorbell rings. It's your boss. An hour early for dinner. And suddenly your calm house is, well,
Chaos.
pretty much. And it's not just the mad dash to clean, is it? It's how you actually say, help, we need to tidy up. Especially if you need your partner or roommate to pitch in. I remember trying to explain the living room looked like a disaster zone once. Total blank stare.
Yeah, I can imagine. And Hush English really shines a light on this, how the words we use for chores aren't just descriptions. They're often about keeping the peace, sharing the load.
Right.
They point out how these phrases connect to bigger ideas. Well-being, hospitality, making your space feel welcoming. It's about everyone being on the same page for a comfortable home.
So when things go from calm to, stressed, what are those key phrases we should grab?
Well, a great one, like in your story, is such a mess. It's not just a statement. It has that feeling of, wow, this needs attention. It implies action is needed, especially in a family setting.
So, honey, the house is such a mess. Isn't just complaining, it's a signal.
Exactly. A polite but clear signal. Then you have chores.
Yeah.
Is the general word for household tasks, washing up, sweeping, whatever. And the action is to tidy up, organize things. The ultimate goal, making it spotless, perfectly clean.
I can just hear that conversation. The podcast example is so relatable. Honey, the house is such a mess. My boss is coming for dinner. And the reply, I'm in the middle of something. I'll be there in a second. That sounds exactly right.
It does, doesn't it? And that little exchange is brilliant for fluency. Hush English points out that instead of just saying, I'm busy, which can sound a bit abrupt.
Yeah, a bit dismissive maybe.
Right. I'm in the middle of something.
Yeah.
Suggest it's temporary, you will be available, it's softer, and I'll be there in a second. Feels much more immediate and natural than just I'll be there soon.
That's a great distinction.
And another gem is how to ask someone to do something. Instead of ordering, like clean the floors, which can sound harsh.
A bit bossy.
Yeah. A suggestion like, why don't you clean the floors? Feels much more collaborative. It sort of invites them in rather than just telling them what to do. That small language tweak changes the whole feeling.
It really does shift the dynamic. Makes it feel more like teamwork. And beyond just the words, the source also mentioned practical things, right? Like making a plan, tackling one room, decluttering.
And involving everyone. That's crucial.
It really drives home that cleaning, just like communicating clearly, works best when everyone's involved.
Okay, so house is harmonious, we step outside. Next challenge, public interactions. Let's switch gears from home life to, say, shopping for clothes or grabbing a taxi. Common things, but they need specific language, sometimes a bit of finesse.
Precisely. And in these kinds of transactions, being clear and polite isn't just nice, it's, efficient. It helps you get what you need without mix-ups.
Avoids frustration on both sides.
Exactly. Hush English really highlights how the right words make sure you're understood and respected, saving time and hassle. Let's start with clothes shopping. I know I've stood there unsure how to ask for a different size or something. What are the essentials there?
Yeah, the shopping for clothes source has some really practical bits. Knowing basic words like fitting room, where you try things on sale for discounts, is key.
Right, the basics.
Then it's about how you ask. Like, excuse me, where is the fitting room? Or do you have this in a larger size? Or even, is this shirt on sale?
Simple questions.
Simple, but Hush English points out the way you ask matters. Instead of just barking, big size, Yeah, saying, do you have this in a bigger size? Sounds, well, more natural and definitely more polite.
It signals you're actually talking to a person.
Exactly. Same with where change room versus where's the fitting room. Using polite forms like could I or can I try this on just smooths everything out. The tip is learn the basic size words and always frame your questions politely.
That politeness factor seems like a running theme. Okay, let's jump into a taxi. Getting around the city, another place where clear communication is make or break.
Definitely. In a taxi, the key things are usually the fare, how much it costs, and your destination, where you're going.
Got it.
The source gives a simple scenario. Driver asks, where to? Passenger says, 45 King Street, please. Then maybe asks, how much will it cost?
Straightforward enough.
But again, Hush English emphasizes the polite framing. Could you take me to? For your destination. Asking, how much is the fare? Sounds better than just how much. And saying, please drop me off here is much clearer and more polite than just yelling, stop, when you arrive.
Yeah, stop. Could be misinterpreted, couldn't it?
Easily. So instead of going airport, you'd say, could you take me to the airport, please? And could you drop me off here? Instead of that abrupt command. It just makes for a clearer, nicer ride for everyone.
These might feel like small tweaks, but using these polite, specific phrases consistently must save a lot of time and hassle. Makes the whole interaction less awkward, too.
Okay, now let's broaden out a bit to things often linked with travel or going out like eating at a restaurant or navigating the sometimes stressful airport environment.
Ah, yes, the airport maze.
Right. And in these places, clear communication isn't just helpful. It's really key for a smooth, enjoyable time. It can actually make the journey better.
That's a really good point. Knowing the right things to say beforehand can definitely lower the stress level, can't it? And maybe even turn tricky moments into chances to, I don't know, connect a bit more, feel less like an outsider.
Precisely. You feel empowered, not overwhelmed. So let's tackle the restaurant first. Ordering food. What are the crucial phrases for getting a delicious meal without any communication hiccups?
The ordering food source had some great tips. Keywords like reservation, if you've booked ahead, and obviously menu.
The essentials.
Yeah, the example dialogue was good. Someone confirming a reservation, yes, under the name Erica. Then asking the server, what do you recommend? Which is always a useful one.
Oh, definitely. Good way to discover something new.
And then ordering politely, I'll have that in a glass of water, please. Hush English really stressed using I'll have instead of I want.
Yes. That's a subtle but really important one they highlighted. I want can sound quite demanding in English service situations.
Right, a bit blunt.
Whereas I'll have, or I'd like, sounds much more natural and polite. Same with asking for the menu. Could I see the menu, please, is way better than give me the menu.
Much smoother.
Instead of just saying I want fish, specifying I'll have the grilled fish, please.
Yeah.
The main tips are simple. Always use please and thank you. Use I'd like or I'll have. And don't be afraid to ask for recommendations. It shows you're engaged.
It's about that give and take in the interaction. Okay, now for the big one, the airport. This can feel really intimidating if you're not super confident with your English. What do we need to navigate that smoothly?
Yeah, at the airport, Source tackles those key moments. Knowing words like boarding pass, your ticket onto the plane, and gate, where you wait, is fundamental. They're like your navigation points.
Critical info.
The example dialogue gets right to it. Agent asks, can I see your passport and boarding pass? Passenger checks a bag, then gets told, your gate is A12. Boarding starts at 3:30. Hush English focuses on asking for directions and times clearly. Where is gate A12? What time does boarding start? Maybe, is this the line for security? Questions that cut through the confusion.
So direct questions are good, but is there still that politeness angle, like how you ask?
Oh, absolutely, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Instead of just where where is gate A12? That little, makes a big difference.
Acknowledges you're interrupting someone.
Exactly. And asking what time does the flight depart sounds much better than, say, plane leave what time. The practical tips are key too. Keep your documents handy and learn those essential airport words. Check-in, boarding, security check. Knowing them just makes the whole process less stressful.
It really sounds like having these simple but well-chosen phrases in your back pocket, whether you're asking for the check or finding your gate, just gives you that ability to handle things calmly and confidently.
And if we sort of pull back and look at the big picture here, all these little fluency builders, these light ways of phrasing things we've talked about, they're not just separate tricks. They're part of a bigger strategy for communicating naturally and effectively in English.
Right. It's more than just memorizing lines.
Exactly. It's about shifting from thinking word for word from your own language to using expressions that are more idiomatic, more, culturally fitting for English speakers. That's where real fluency starts to happen.
It really changes the feel of the conversation, doesn't it? What Hush English seems to show is how those small shifts using could I or suggesting why don't you can completely change how you come across. You don't just get understood, you sound more natural, more considerate, just more polite. You fit into the conversation better.
And that understanding, it builds more than just language skills. It builds a kind of cultural intuition. You start to get the unspoken rules, the nuances, and that makes every conversation, whether it's quick or complicated, feel a bit less scary and honestly a lot more satisfying.
Do you feel more connected?
Exactly. Whether you're figuring out chores or exploring a new city.
So we've covered a lot today, haven't we? From getting the house tidy, coordinating with family, all the way to ordering food confidently, navigating taxis, even tackling the airport. The situations are really different.
Wildly different, yeah.
But those core ideas, being clear, polite, understanding those little nuances, they seem to run through everything. They're constant.
Absolutely. And connecting this back to why it matters, mastering these everyday exchanges, it isn't just about sounding good. It's really about unlocking more independence, feeling less stressed in new situations, and just making your experiences richer as you move through the world.
Yeah.
Which I think brings up a really important question for you listening. How often do you find yourself maybe holding back, standing on that linguistic tightrope, like you said earlier, unsure of the right words, and maybe missing a chance to connect or just make things easier?
That's a really powerful question to reflect on. And to maybe push past that feeling, here's a small challenge. Pick just one new phrase or one tip from today. Just one. Maybe it's I'm in the middle of something, or I'll have the toot, please, or could you drop me off here?
Something concrete.
Yeah, pick one and make a point of using it in a real situation this week. See how it feels. Notice the reaction you get.
And as you do that, maybe think about that deeper confidence that comes not just from knowing what to say, but understanding why certain ways of saying things work better, why they feel more polite or effective in English. Because that deeper understanding, that's really the key to unlocking smoother communication and actually enjoying all those interactions, big or small, as you get out there and engage with the world.